Hello everyone. In the previous few sessions, we were discussing about the concepts related to an organization. In the previous two modules, what we have understood is the management, its functions, and the concepts related to organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Now, once you have built your organization, certain responsibilities you have to take. One of the important responsibilities is social responsibility that we are going to understand in this module, that is module number 3. Along with that, we are going to understand what is entrepreneurship and the concepts related to entrepreneurship. So, coming to the module 3, which is social responsibilities of business and entrepreneurship, we first need to understand what is the meaning of social responsibility. Social responsibility can be defined in different ways. One of the way in which you can define social responsibility is the manager's responsiveness to the public consensus can be called as social responsibility. That means how manager responsively behaves or takes the programs of social activities or the programs of societal needs so as to match with the consensus of the public in that region. Here the social responsibilities are not fixed for all the countries at all times. They change from country to country, region to region, and the state to state, you can say. Okay, in that way social responsibilities are not universally same, they are dependent on different parameters or factors. Okay, so let me formally define what it is. Adolf Berle defines the social responsibility as the manager's responsiveness to public consensus. So that is what the meaning of social responsibility according to Adolf Berle. Here public consensus means general needs of the public living in that particular area in that particular time. Okay, that's why it is not universal to have same set of social responsibilities in all the areas or all the countries. Okay, they will differ from one country to another country, one region to another region based on the public consensus. Okay, and another view is from Keith Davis. According to Keith Davis, the term social responsibility refers to two obligations, two types of obligations. Okay, two types of obligations. One is socio-economic obligation and the second one is socio-human obligation. Socio-economic obligation of every business is to have a positive impact on the economy of particular region. And socio-human obligation is building up a positive relations and nurturing human values. Human values such as motivation, coordination and cooperation. Okay, so in that way, if someone is having these obligations or he is adhering to these obligations, then we can say the social responsibility is taken seriously by that business or the manager. Okay, so that's all about the meaning of social responsibility in terms of Adolf Berle and Keith Davis. Okay, so now the next topic we have in this social responsibility of business is the different views on social responsibility. So we have a communist view, we have a capitalist view, we have a pragmatic view and we have a trusteeship view. Okay, let me go through these views one by one and we'll try to understand what are these views and how they are different from one another. Different views on social responsibilities. First one is communist view. Second one is capitalist view. Third one is pragmatic view and the fourth one is trusteeship view. So according to the communist view, what is meant by social responsibility? How the communists see social responsibility? So here social responsibility is enforced onto the businesses. They think that businessmen are going to make money and they are not going to support the society. That's why there should be an enforcement of social responsibility if they want to avail some offers from the government or the state. That is the view of communists regarding social responsibility. And when it comes to capitalist view, according to this view, there is no need of social responsibility for businesses because businesses are good at doing business, that is producing goods and services, and they have to be stick on to that. And social responsibility is the responsibility of the state or the government and the stakeholders involved in that. So according to this, no social responsibilities onto the businesses. When it comes to pragmatic view, it talks according to the importance of profits and at the same time it stresses on social responsibilities. So this view we can think as an optimum view where profits are important as well as social responsibilities. If profits are not there, there is no point where social responsibilities are possible for that particular business organization. Correct? So that is the view of pragmatic thinking. And then trusteeship view. This is the view put forward by M.K. Gandhi, where he says that wealthy persons or wealthy people have to donate for the welfare of the society, keeping only the wealth which is required for them, that is for a honorable life, whatever required, that should be kept for their personal use, and the rest of the wealth should be kept in a trust, and that trust should work for the welfare of the society. That is the trusteeship view. So these are the different views which we can come across when we talk about social responsibilities. In present era, the different views are combined, and there are rules and regulations for social responsibility of each and every business, and based on that only businesses work for social welfare. Okay. The next topic we have is the social responsibilities towards different groups, because we know that there are different stakeholders involved in the business, and the society is also involved. That's why we have responsibility towards each and every stakeholders. So we'll try to understand who are these stakeholders and what is the responsibility of the business towards these stakeholders. Okay. Social responsibilities towards different groups, or you can say different stakeholders. First one is towards consumers and community. Second one is towards employees or workers, you can say. The third one is towards the shareholders and other businesses. Fourth one is towards the state. Towards these stakeholders, the businesses will have some social responsibility. Let us first go through towards consumers and the community. What are the responsibilities the business is going to have? Towards the consumer and the community, we have these responsibilities. The first one is production of cheap and better quality goods. You have to produce goods or products which are having a lowest price with highest quality, you can say. And how it can be done? It can be done through development of new skills and innovation. Innovation in your production, or it might be in the manufacturing, or it might be in your R&D department. Through that you can have a cheap and better quality goods, and thereby it is going to help the consumers. And next one we have is providing for social audit. Social audit is a systematic study and evaluation of social performance of an organization. So if you are doing some social activity with the help of your organizational funds, then that activity's procedures and the process will be evaluated, and what are the impacts of those activities will be studied in the social audit. If you are going for that, then that will serve as a responsibility towards the consumer and community. And next one is honoring contracts and following honest trade practices. When you honor the contracts, then you will be having respect in the society from the consumers as well as from the community. When it comes to honest trade practices, you should not falsely claim, or you should not make fake claims regarding the products, saying that using this particular toothpaste, your teeth will be going to be very bright within 1 month. Most of the time that does not happen, right? So the same is true with soap advertisements or any other commercial ads where they make fake claims. That should not happen, okay? And it comes under honest trade practices. Next we have preventing creation of monopolies. Monopolies are bad for the community because in long run, high price and low quality of products may be provided for the consumers because of monopolies. And next is providing after sale servicing. Here the company which is producing, it has to give servicing, because when some repair is needed, then the customer should not go roaming for servicing without knowing where it can be serviced. Okay, so if the particular organization takes care of that, it will be helpful for the consumer as well as for the community. The next one we have is supporting education, slum clearance and other social programs. So you can go for some slum clearance drives where you can clean the slum, or you can build homes for the people who are living in the slums. Okay, in that way you have to show your responsibility towards consumer and the community. The next responsibility we have is towards the employees or workers. Okay. Towards employees, first responsibility is a fair wage or salary for workers. Just selection, training and promotion. And the next one is social security measures. Next one is good quality of work life. And then we have good human relations. And the last one is freedom, self-respect and self-realization. In work. So these are the responsibilities of the business towards the employees. The first one is a fair wage for workers. This fair wage or salary should not depend on market forces of supply and demand. Depending on supply and demand, you should not fix the wages. It should be fair enough for the particular position. In that way, you have to give a fair wage for the workers. And the next one we have is just selection, training and promotion. This means there should not be any discrimination. Any discrimination based on gender, race, religion and physical appearance. Without these, you have to select based on the qualification, you train the employee and you promote. That should not be based on the different biases. Okay. And then we have social security measures. This is directly related to the job security. So he feels that when job is secure, socially the worker or employee will be secured. Then we have good quality of work life. Here there should be progressive work environment. Progressive work environment means he should be promoted as and when it is essential. If he is doing some good work, he must be appreciated or rewarded. In that way, there should be a quality of work in the organization. And then good human relations. Human relations in the organization should be cordial instead of formal. Formal relations is required, but cordial relations will be more beneficial when you look from the point of view of employees as well as for the organization. It will help a lot. And then we have freedom, self-respect and self-realization in work. You should give freedom for the employees and you have to have given a privilege of self-respect and self-realization in work. And this way you will be serving the social responsibilities towards the employees. The next responsibilities we have is towards the shareholders and the other businesses. Towards shareholders and other businesses. First one is promoting good governance second one, fairness in relations with competitors. Promoting good governance means you have to have internal accountability and transparency. Through internal accountability and transparency, you have to promote the good governance in the organization and thereby shareholders will be benefited. And then fairness in relations with competitors. There should be a healthy competition between your organization and the competitor organization. It should not be based on the rules of warfare. It should be based on the rules of ethics or laws of ethics. Based on that, you should have a competitive environment which is healthy in nature. It should not be a warfare. Okay, that's about the social responsibilities towards shareholders and other businesses. Now next we have is social responsibilities towards the state. First one is shunning active participation in and direct identification with any political party second one is following the laws of land which may follow the social welfare of the community. So first one is shunning active participation in means avoiding active participation in any political party or direct identification with any political party. If you are doing so, then you are not politically influencing the people and you are behaving in a ethical manner. Okay, and that is the responsibility towards the state. And then following the laws of land which may follow the social welfare of the community. Here there are various points. Based on that, if laws are there, then you have to follow those laws and that will become the responsibility towards the state. Okay, let me list out these laws based on some objectives towards the state. As I have said, following or observing all the laws of land which may have the following objectives. So the first objective is to provide direction to the economic and business life of the community. Here the economic and business life of community means creation of jobs in a certain region, creation of jobs, and thereby the economic growth of that particular region will happen and that will give a business life for the community. Okay, and then we have to provide the safeguard against errant business practices. Errant means lawless. So if you are going to open a bar shop in a residential area, it is lawless or errant business practice. You have to follow the law saying that the bar shop cannot be opened in an residential area. And the next one is to prevent oppression or exploitation of weaker partners in business. So you should not exploit the weaker partners in the business. And then we have conserving resources. You have to use the resources for whichever amount it is needed. You should not use excessive resources. And then we have implementing rural uplift. You have to create a businesses in the rural areas and thereby you have to help the people who are living in the rural areas or villages. So in that way you can help the state through your social responsibilities. So that's all about the social responsibilities towards different groups. In the next session we will try to understand what is social audit and benefits of social audit and limitations of social audit. Thank you.